Hello everybody, welcome back. Today we are building a couple of shops on my winter island. This is behind Nook's Cranny. I did decide to show you the pathing this time. The last couple videos that we've been doing some of the builds, we have not done the pathing on camera. However, we are, and as usual, I will leave the creator code down in the description so you guys can check out the person who made these paths. They're part of a set, and I am using them primarily around the resident services area because, like I think I said in the video where we did Able Sisters, I want to make this part of the island more of like a winter city theme, kind of old-timey. This, of course, is where the fake storefronts come in. Originally, and you'll see this later on in the video, I did use stalls with some items on them. I swapped those out for the wide display stand, or display case, I think it's called, because I liked how they looked better. They reminded me more of shop windows. I was considering having like a simple panel as a door in front of one of the storefronts here, but we did not end up doing that. I just don't think I liked how it looked in my head if I had done that, so I didn't bother. I also would have had to find a door design, and there are so many of them out there, but I hope you guys are doing well. When I'm sitting down and recording the commentary for this, it is the day after Easter, so if you celebrate Easter, happy Easter. If you celebrated Passover, happy Passover. It has been a crazy few days, mainly because like we flew up to Boston and the travel day was just really long. Our connecting flight was delayed, like the one that we had from our connection to Boston, because we were sitting on the tarmac and then taxiing for an hour and a half, and that was longer than our overall flight time. So that was frustrating. Luckily, we didn't have a time constraint. There were a couple of people who were actually leaving from that connecting airport, and Boston was their connection, and they did miss their connection, and that really sucks. It was also just chaotic in general because so at our connection, TSA was there because it was a flight to Boston, and because it's Marathon Monday today when I'm sitting down to record this audio. It's, the day after Easter. It's Marathon Monday. It's also school vacation week for most of New England, I think, or something. At least it usually was when I was in school. Vacation week, like the week of the marathon. Anyway, so they were checking IDs and boarding passes at our connecting gate, the one going to Boston, because it was marathon weekend. That's fine. I get it. It was okay. But I think that took a little bit of extra time. And then with the whole trying to leave the airport thing, because it was just such a long line of arrivals and departures, and we were seventh in line in this queue. And then finally we get there, and then our flight to our connection, it was like a little teeny tiny plane, and I have never been more airsick in my life. It was awful. It was so turbulent, and I've been on very turbulent flights, but because it was a tiny plane, I think that I just felt it more. They did come over and say that it was going to be turbulent and to be prepared, but they didn't make it out to be as worse as it was, which I kind of get why they wouldn't do that. But I felt very sick. I luckily did not get sick, but I felt very sick. So yesterday, Easter, that was a fun day. So we got to my aunt's, and we found out, because my aunt and uncle were hosting, we found out that their oven had broken that morning. They discovered that it wasn't working somehow. They have a gas oven. So my uncle called Lowe's. Lowe's was closed. This is in Massachusetts. Home Depot luckily was open. They did have one model, I guess, that was left that fit the space in their kitchen, so he was able to get that and put it in. I guess their floor model had a knob missing or whatever, but he was just able to take the knob off of their oven that wasn't working anymore and put it on the new one. And then when he was disconnecting the gas from the house to shut the gas off, I guess that the nozzle or something came off in his hand somehow. So my cousin, her and her husband were staying with my aunt and uncle this weekend because they live further away, and she is pregnant. So here's my aunt screaming at my cousin to get out of the house, obviously, because they don't know now if they have a gas leak. And my uncle, who thank God is so handy, he was the calmest of the whole situation, allegedly, from this retelling that everybody did when we got there. So it was just a little bit chaotic. It ended up working out fine. My aunt wanted to delay Easter by a couple hours, but it was fine. It was okay. They had 25 of us over. It was a good time. It was really good to be able to see my family again. I don't know what you guys do for Easter. We don't have brunch. I've never had Easter brunch. We usually have a late lunch, early dinner, and it's typically appetizers, dips. Like, one of my cousins made a bruschetta dip. It was really, really good. Vinegar stuffed peppers. There was artichoke dip, and I think like a few other things. Like, one of my cousin's friends came and she made like a really good bean dip that I had with chips. It was like a bunch of different kinds of beans. It wasn't more of a hummus. It was like actual like bean dip. And so then we had actual dinner. There were a couple of different salads. There was lamb, ham, potatoes, carrots, eggplant parmesan, spaghetti and meatballs. My family's Italian. Broccoli and cheese casserole. One of my aunts wanted to bring macaroni and cheese, but I don't know if anybody would have eaten it anyway, so that was like vetoed. And then we had dessert, which was delicious. Somebody made Italian cookies. Somebody made carrot cake cookies. We were celebrating my aunt's birthday who was hosting, so there was like a strawberry shortcake from Whole Foods, I think, or something. And it was just a good time. I'm glad that we were able to see everybody. My cousins, a couple of them have very, very young kids. We had like a little bit of an egg hunt for them, so that was fun. I have not talked about this build at all, except for like closer to the beginning. I love how this came out. I think that we did a great job. I am very happy with it. I think I'm going to change up some of the items on like the roofs that you can access. I don't really know what I'm going to put up there. I just kind of like threw some random things up there, but we are done. I love it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave any comments, feedback, and suggestions down below, like potentially for new areas on this island. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.